There is one scene in The Rise of Skywalker which stands above all else in the sequel trilogy. That might sound weird to people who have heard my review on this movie. I definitely think it could have been way more thoughtful in its story and approach. However, this is what we were given. And with that said, I think that Ben Solo absolutely dominating the Knights of Ren is a masterpiece of a scene. It gives us such an interesting demonstration of Force ability, as well as a very interesting fighting style that bordered somewhere between Revenge of the Sith Flash and the restraint of The Empire Strikes Back. The way Ben Solo wields a lightsaber is fascinating, and I wish I could get an entire movie of Rogue Jedi Ben Solo. I still think the rest of this film is messy and fast, but I think the direction for this one specific scene just happened to be completely on point. For me, a perfect scene in this franchise has to do two things: leave me with a sense of awe and leave me thinking, wow, the Force is fucking insane. And of course, if I'm lucky, the dialogue will be pretty decent. I'm the kind of fan who is more focused on the Force in that aspect of this galaxy and story, whereas a lot of other aspects come secondary. And Ben Solo bringing forth a lightsaber out of nowhere in front of the Knights of Ren, who were just kicking his ass and then shrugging it off like he's saying, neat, huh? It was a perfect, cocky Han Solo kind of thing to do. And of course, this being the son of Solo made it all the more interesting and amazing to me. In a way, it's as if Adam Driver himself became Han Solo, who had also become a rogue Jedi. And as a lot of us know, those Knights of Ren, who used to be under Ben's command, worship lightsabers. It's what they call Ren. So Ben donning his grandfather's lightsaber in a way that defies physics probably made all 6 of them poop their pants. It literally appears out of nowhere. They don't know that Rey's handing it off through the Force. And I also loved how, for a few moments before this, the film hangs on Ben and Rey's face as they sense each other through their Force bond. Ben is basically saying, everything is okay, I'm here for you, but hey, can you do me a solid and pass me one of those lightsabers? This isn't Ben touching the shadow anymore, it's Ben touching the light, and it's insane. The way Ben Solo uses his lightsaber is also worth noting in this sequence. He seems to have this quicker than a blink of an eye attack style, but not like what we saw in The Last Jedi. After his shrug to the Knights of Ren, he whips the blade around, seemingly slicing at each of their helmets with one swoop. It's feral, but it's not dark side feral, if you know what I mean. In the move where Ben positions the saber behind his back and a flourish before one of the Knights of Ren could slice him was a great visual, and again, another new form of lightsaber use we haven't seen from him before. I'd argue it looks like a combination of Form 2 and Form 3, but that's just my point of view. Before his turn, he had a bit more of that brutish broad stroke fighting style and a lot of punching too. But here, it's full-on Force moves and him pushing the Knights around left and right and straight up stabbing them through their chests until they're all defeated. It almost seems effortless once he acquires the blade. And the cherry on top of all of what I just talked about is the fact that Ben Solo did all of this with his grandfather's lightsaber. The past 2 films, he's been taunted with that blade by other people worthy of wielding it, but it's only now that he can take that blade. Ben Solo is worthy of wielding Anakin's lightsaber. For me, that's a big deal. And maybe it wasn't such a big deal for others, but I have been waiting to see the light side version of Kylo Ren don the lightsaber ever since The Last Jedi, when it really hammered home to me that this guy was coming back to the light. Now, while I wish that Ben Solo lived to be part of the new stories going forward, part of the new EU, I also can't wrap up this video without talking about Ben Solo doing the most important thing we've ever seen in a Star Wars movie ever: bringing someone back from death. While it still gets to me as a fan that this character is now one with the Force, the moment of realization of what needs to be done, the radical acceptance of his own death in exchange for Rey having a life, and his eyes full of tears knowing Rey's face will be the last thing he ever sees once she comes back to life, was perfect. Like I said, while I dislike that he is dead, this all made his death really mean something for me personally. Now, you may disagree with me, with this being the best scene in the entire film, and that's totally okay. In fact, I think it would be awesome if you could leave a comment down below of your favorite scenes from The Rise of Skywalker. I'd love to read them and comment back when I can. So that's it. May the Force be with you, and AT-AT is signing off.